I just got back from the Hearth, Patio, and Barbecue Expo in New Orleans, and in this video, I'm going to show you the best new gear I found at the show, and we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, even if it's uncomfortable. I'm David Gafford, and here at the Barbecue Lab, Melissa and I test the gear you want to buy so you can get the best and skip the rest. This is about my 7th time to attend this particular show, and this year was strange. We'll talk about that more in a bit, but let's get to what I thought were the standout new products for 2026 in no particular order. If a rocket stove and a patio heater had a baby, and that baby grew up to be sleek and beautiful, I think it would be the Patio Fire Jet Lamp. This is a wood pellet fueled patio heater that is as much a light show as it is a heater. The conical heat deflector on top pushes the heat down where you can feel it, so it's not just a pretty fire tornado. If you fill it full of pellets, you can get right around 90 minutes of heat and mesmerizing fire each time you fill the hopper. I haven't seen a cooler looking patio heater on the market, and with both standalone and built-in table models available, I see these coming to all kinds of outdoor venues and backyards across the US very soon. I was introduced to V-Gas for the first time at the show, and while at first glance it might look like an outdoor rolling table, it's much more. I know that we're an extreme use case here at the Barbecue Lab, but I have pieces and parts of grills laying all over the place, and I don't know where to put things when they're not in use. The V-Gas aims to change that for Kamado and kettle owners by giving them a place for everything. Main grates, deflector stones, charcoal divider plates, pizza stones, charcoal bags, lighters, accessories, gloves, and more. They all have a place, and it's hidden away as a high-end table or bar top when guests are over. It's 200 pounds of off-road capable storage, so if you're like me and can't find a place to put your gear, V-Gas wants to help you solve that problem. The Napoleon gas grill has been a winner in our gas grill head-to-head videos in the past, and it looks like they're continuing to innovate with their newest line refresh. This new Napoleon Prestige Pro 665 brings digital control instead of just digital temperature reporting. That's what we're starting to see more on propane and natural gas grills, digital reporting of internal grill temperature and built-in temperature probes as standard. But the Prestige Pro takes it a step further and allows for total control of your grill from a digital screen. It's a gas grill you can also control from an app on your phone, and you can do just about everything but light the grill that way. Because let's be honest, should any of us really be lighting a grill while we're at the store? Do we really remember if we took the cover off or if the kids left something on top? The Prestige Pro has a built-in smoke system where you can use wood chips or pellets to get more flavor out of your gas grill. It's gas assisted, so just load up the drawer and smoke on. It's a grill with all the bells and whistles as long as your budget is ready for the price tag. If you've been following our latest videos, you've likely already seen the Fontana Volulta outdoor oven, but it was still one of the top products at the show, so I wanted to bring it back. Chef Philippe cooked us some Italian pork pizza, and it was amazingly good for just pork, salt, dough, and oil. We also got to try blueberry cobbler made in the Volta and the designed on the spot blueberry cobbler pizza from Chef Kirk, which I couldn't believe tasted as good as it did. The Volta is a full gas oven and a full wood oven with the ability to use both types of fuel and not lose any cooking space in the chamber. With the oven running 750 degrees all day, the outside of the oven still registered just 100 degrees Fahrenheit. You need a 1-inch clearance from all sides of this oven, so unlike the competition, you can put this oven just about anywhere. If you want to learn more, I'll link our latest review on the Volta up here in the card and down in the description. The Prism1 water system was a sight for sore eyes at the show because it's absolutely what I've been looking for in a few outdoor kitchen builds. So many times I'm building or working with outdoor kitchen designs where there isn't buried water available, but a sink with running water would be incredible. Enter the Prism1 system that just uses a 5-gallon jug of water in the cabinet underneath to get water from, and a 6-gallon wastewater jug as a drain. Just drop the hose into the fresh water reservoir, hook the system up to power, and install the included faucet spray nozzle. It's designed to help water last longer before a replacement water jug is needed. No, you don't have to use this sprayer. It just helps you be more water conscious since you're working with a fixed amount. If you're thinking about an outdoor kitchen and want a sink but don't want to run a water line, the Prism1 system is a solution you've probably already been searching for. Monument Grills had a new prototype grill at the show called their Big Fred Deluxe, and they were looking for opinions on the future of grilling. Their premise is that gas grill owners think that they want the side burner for heating sauces or the sear burner for searing steaks, but Monument hypothesizes that they're not used much, if at all, after we bring the grill home. With that in mind, this new prototype aims to bring customization to grilling. There are side burners, sear burners, cutting board options, and metal recessed trays that you can use on either side of the grill. Want a sear burner on the left and a cutting board on the right? Done. Want a recessed pan with cutting board on the left and a sauce pot burner on the right? You can get that too. They're proposing a quick disconnect system that allows for endless customization without needing to get out the yellow roll of gas tape and become a plumber in your spare time. I'm sure there's no shortage of opinions on this concept, including this guy's.
This grill, nothing but winning. Other grills, total losers. We're out here to make America grill again. Check out Monument Grills.
So what do you think? Jump into the comments and let them know if this is the future of grilling you've been asking for, or if there's something else you want to see in your future grill. Eno launched a brand new griddle this year, and it continues with the enameled cast iron surface that they're known for. There are other griddles out there with a non-stick surface, but Eno tells you straight away that using metal utensils isn't only allowed, but recommended. They even showed us how you can take a metal spatula straight to the surface for scraping and cleaning. To me, that's a standout feature in the high-end outdoor kitchen griddle market. This is also the first double-walled griddle I've seen, bringing more efficiency to propane cooking. We even got a peek under the hood and noticed that each burner has its own thermocouple to keep safety at the forefront. There's a side shelf that completely recesses inside the griddle when not in use, so for those wanting to save space on a smaller patio, they hear you. Barbacook is a brand trying to make their way to America from Belgium, and the HPBE show was their first introduction to the States. They introduced us to the Nestor, which is a 360 degrees wood-fired barbecue designed to bring people together around the fire. If you're looking for a solution to get your guests involved in the cooking, this Corten steel barbecue begs for interactivity, with all sides of the grill being open to guests. You can add a side table and wood rack that they call the Nestor Buddy, but it's the vertical cooking options that really stood out to me. From additional grill grates over the central fire to kebab skewer racks and more, the Nestor aims to get everyone involved with their dinner. Vidal took their prototype pellet grill designed for outdoor kitchens from last year's show and has it ready for addition into your new kitchen. It holds a massive 100 pounds of wood pellets, more than any other grill I've ever seen or tested. Even the Black Earth Community Grill with two 40-pound pellet hoppers comes up short in pellet capacity, and that means it's 5 20-pound pellet bags to fill up this grill. There is a pellet dump feature, so there's always the option to change flavors as long as you can find a Rubbermaid large enough to capture them. There are 3 great levels in the cooking chamber, so I see this as a hybrid between the horizontal pellet grill design and a vertical cabinet. It will easily fit 3 briskets as long as you're okay with each one self-basting the one below. I think competition trimmed briskets, maybe even 6, so that's a lot of cooking surface for a built-in pellet grill. I learned about cooking pellets from Malcolm Reed over at How to Barbecue Right, but they haven't been available in my section of the country that I've seen until now. Cookin' Pellets can be found online at their website and also on Amazon, where you can get their 40-pound bags or their smaller 3-pound bags if you're using a grill like the Ninja Flex Flame that just uses a cup or two of pellets at a time. They have what I think might be the only black cherry pellet on the market, and their apple pellet is made with actual apple mash for more flavor. Their blends are made up with 4 or 5 individual pellet types, and I know that I'm excited to try them out for myself. If you haven't branched out and tried a new pellet flavor or brand yet this season, let this be your reminder that new flavors start with the fuel before the food even enters the picture. I walked into the burn area of the show and was greeted with spinning fire pits like I'd never seen before. If there's ever a best conversation starter award for a fire pit, I think Solid Fire Pits takes the prize. All of their designs hang from a 3-legged tripod, and the fire pit itself can spin freely suspended over the ground. It's a unique idea, and they've sold over 500 units without any outside distribution help. They come in small all the way up to XXL size, and you can learn more at the link in the description. Now, I've been at this expo almost every year since 2020, and I've loved it, but this year was different. In years past, there was hearth and patio and outdoor cooking at the show, thus the HPB of the HPBA. It was always heavier hearth over the other 2 areas, but this year, I think they could have taken the B out of the HPBExpo name entirely. I'm concerned about the future because barbecue was almost non-existent at this year's show. Most of the outdoor cooking booths were hearth companies trying to come up with a bolt-on outdoor kitchen line to add to their hearth business, and the bulk of outdoor cooking wasn't there. If you're wondering where the new releases from Weber or Traeger, Big Green Egg, or Charbroil were in our list, so was I. It appears that the show model might be dying, and I'm curious what's going to replace it. So what do you think? Are trade shows dying? Is it that they held the expo in the same city 2 years in a row? Is it that tariffs have forced grill companies making products overseas to hold on to new launches? Is it that the grill category is stalled in growth? Are the booths just flat out too expensive for what the manufacturers get out of the show? What do you think is the culprit here? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm David from the Barbecue Lab. Links to all of the products you saw in this video are down in the description. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.